listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I do deliver it every day, and we have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you're going to reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number on your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today National Speak Up for Service Day. You gotta love the idea of speaking up for service. Those people that are out there doing it every day, we certainly appreciate it. And let's participate. Let's do a good deed today. But for the bride, I will go with the fact that today is National Candy Corn Day. She happens to be a fan of candy corn at this time of the year, so we will go with that one. And I am looking at the markets for you today as well. It's been a rocky ride on the markets today. Very, very early in the morning, the futures were looking at a positive opening. Then we got some not so stellar news on the housing front. Well, then we got into the downside on the Dow. Right now, though, we are looking at a market up 241 points. Oil down 47 cents per barrel at 66.57. And the U.S. 10-year Treasury hovering right at that place where we've got to be very careful, 3.103. We talked about that a bit yesterday. We will get into that conversation again a little bit when we get into the Mortgage Minute in the next segment. So we'll chat about that. We'll hold off for that one and chat with you then about it. But let's keep on moving into the markets. What is going on? What is happening in the news front today? Well, boy, you know something? You gotta, whether you like the president or you dislike the president, holy cow, you cannot fault the man's work ethic. Holy cow. I think it's going to be in 11 cities in the next 4 or 5 days leading up to the election. I don't know if you've ever traveled very much, especially traveling for work. Now, I know he's traveling in a bit of luxury, and doing a lot of work while he's flying, but holy cow, 11 cities in that short a time period. That is tough for a young person, no less an individual that's in his 70s. I mean, this is a very, very interesting work ethic. I think, well, I'm sure that the liberals will not even give that to him. Whether you like his policy or not, you can't fault the idea of the man's work ethic. Holy cow. I know today he added a stop on his trip going to Pittsburgh, showing support for the folks there after this lunatic gunman left 11 people dead in a shooting at a synagogue over the weekend. Obviously, the president condemned this as an evil anti-Semitic attack. The president will express the support of the American people and grieve with Pittsburgh as a community, according to Sarah Sanders on Monday. Sanders said First Lady Melania Trump will travel with the president. President Trump says he wants to be sensitive to the grief being experienced by families of the victims, but it felt it was important to travel to Squirrel Hill neighborhood to meet with members of the Jewish community there. Obviously, he's got close ties to the Jewish community, having a son-in-law and daughter both who are Jewish, having grandchildren who are Jewish. So the president does have some close ties in that arena. So we're going to watch him going there. I'm sure there'll be plenty of coverage, plenty of criticism. Moving right along, ready for Hillary. Founder announces he will absolutely support Avenatti in a Democrat primary. The founder of a pro-Hillary Clinton super PAC said Monday they would absolutely, quote-unquote, support Michael Avenatti if he ran for president in 2020. The anti-Trump lawyer is quietly building up the infrastructure for a Democratic primary run, including recruiting a group of Democrat campaign veterans, fundraisers, and other operatives, according to Politico reports. One such operative is Adam Parkomenko, who founded Ready PAC, formerly Ready for Hillary, in the lead up to the 2016 election. He's absolutely the person I'm supporting for the 2020 primary, should he decide to run. You got to love these some of these issues that come up here. The man accused in the Pittsburgh synagogue massacre appeared briefly in federal court in a wheelchair and handcuffs Monday to face charges he killed 11 people in what is believed to be the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history. Robert Gregory Bowers, who was wounded in a gun battle with police, was released from a hospital in the morning and a few hours later was wheeled into the courtroom where he was ordered held without bail for a preliminary hearing on Thursday when prosecutors will outline their case against him. During the court appearance, Bowers talked with two court-appointed lawyers, went over documents, and confirmed his identity to a judge, speaking softly as he said little more than yes a few times. Courtroom deputies freed one of his hands from cuffs so he could sign paperwork. He was expressionless. And more lunatics in our country. Another suspicious package sent to CNN intercepted in Atlanta. You know, and I can go on record as saying this is stupid on both sides. No excuse for these packages going to CNN or going to the Democrats. Just lunatic. Unbelievable how you continue to get these things. The announcement comes 3 days after the FBI arrested Cesar Altieri Sayoc and accused him of trying to send improvised explosive devices to high-profile Democrats and media targets, facing charges for 5 federal crimes, including the illegal mailing of explosives. It's not yet clear whether the package in Atlanta is similar to more than a dozen that were intercepted last week, all of them using the address of Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Unbelievable. The military sending 5,200 people, 5,200 troops to the southern border. U.S. will deploy more than 5,200 troops to the southern border in response to the thousands of Central American migrants headed to America. Glad to see that the president is doing that. I know a lot of people say that it's not going to do any good, but hey, the issue is he's trying to do something. We've seen a lot of people try things in the past with no success. Amazing. 39% say Trump, 28% say media responsible for toning down rhetoric. Again, 39% of the voters say President Trump is the most responsible for toning down the heated partisan rhetoric in the U.S., according to a new American Barometer survey. 28% said it's the media that is most responsible for toning down the rhetoric, while 24% said Trump's critics are most responsible. The poll conducted by Hill.tv and HarrisX polling company found all that data for us. 9% said there was no need to lower the rhetoric. Those are loons. The results come days after a gunman entered that Pittsburgh synagogue and killed 11 people. Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose is urging voters to elect Democrats in the midterm elections. The rock icon shared a blunt message with his more than 1.2 million Twitter followers on Sunday ahead of the November 6th midterm. Vote blue. And I'm not going to say what the rest of this was, starting with the B word. Rose, born William Rose Jr., is a frequent critic of President Trump on social media. Last month, the Welcome to the Jungle singer, who is currently also the lead singer of AC/DC, wrote, "Americans don't have a president." Well, obviously that shows his level of intelligence. Whether you like the man or not, he is the president. Shots fired into a Florida GOP office while unoccupied. Again, whether it's on the Republican side or the Democrat side, tone it down. There's no excuse for this going on in our country, just watching some of these issues going on. Tell me what you expect to benefit. I'd love to find out somebody who can give one idea, shooting into the office, throwing rocks into the offices. I saw that on the Republican side, sending bombs to Democrat senators and congresspeople. Saw that one as well. Does anybody think that that's going to benefit us in any way? Does it think they're going to benefit their own cause in any way? All it does is serve to divide people, unless that is the cause, is people just looking to see how divisive they can be. You just wonder what the end game is with some of these people, or are they just mentally unstable? Which, I guess if you're doing that kind of stuff, it proves that you're mentally unstable. Boy, talking about unstable, how'd you like to be owning Amazon stock? It's been a crazy ride. You've seen it this year. Was one of those stocks that you wanted to be in all year long. But holy cow, you better have a strong stomach if you've been there. And I kind of chuckle. I wonder, we saw that Jeff Bezos' net worth at $150 billion a few weeks ago. I wonder how much that has tumbled since the stock has gone down. Oh, it looks like it's almost 400, 500 points that it's down in the last few months. Still up for the year, but down amazing how we just watch that stock. It is very, very volatile, not for the faint at heart. I looked at it, the stock was up over 2,000 at one point, 2,039. It closed on September 4th. Today it's at 15.15. I know they're going to be announcing earnings, so we'll see. I promise you one thing. I don't know what the earnings will be. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can promise you this. The stock will be very, very volatile. I hope you're in for a very strong ride on that one. It can be... again, that's why I talked to you about real estate, right? I mean, I love the idea of being in the real estate world not because it doesn't have any volatility. Yes, it does. We're going to talk about that with the Case-Shiller numbers that came out today. We'll get into that in the next segment. But here's the issue, is even though it does have that level of volatility, you still can go it, touch it, feel it. If you don't want to sell it, you don't have to. Just a thought for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how do personal loans impact your credit score? What you need to know about home equity loans. Get into all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Apparently, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I just received a message here. I did not know we were not getting some of the information coming through that should be. Let's see if you're hearing this information. I don't know if you heard that one or not. Interesting that it's not coming through on the sound through our boards. That's a big problem there, guys. So we're going to have to try and correct that one. But let's get to the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you, the Gold Star, the only one I know of that has the Fast Pass Loan Approval Gold Star Mortgage. What is the Mortgage Minute today? We always watch what's going on in the mortgage world because everybody can tell you what is happening. You need to know why it is happening. So let's look and see the what first. We'll get to the why next. The bonds, Fannie Mae bonds down 12 basis points means interest rates are up just a little bit. The U.S. 10-year Treasury 3.108. Again, that one is right near that point that I told you we've got to really be careful on, because if we break through a 3.14 is one of the points. 3.11 is the very next one. We may see what's going on. It'll be very fascinating to see what happens in the market here. But those are the numbers. Why is it happening? Well, relatively quiet on the news day, but the action will heat up tomorrow with the ADP jobs report, mortgage applications, and the employment cost index. And housing news, Case-Shiller home price index, that tracks the changes in the value of residential real estate across the U.S., showed that home price appreciation decelerated slightly but remained strong. Remember, a deceleration in appreciation is very different from declining home prices. The national index, which covers all 9 U.S. Census divisions, reported a 5.8% annual gain in August, which was down from 6.0% in July. The 20-city index showed that home prices rose at 5.5% on a year-over-year basis, which was a decline from 5.9% from the previous reading. Again, that is the August numbers. You got to look out for the media, though. They're going to likely be calling for the death of the housing market across the nation. 5.8% appreciation is extremely meaningful, and quite honestly, it's healthy that it has cooled off a bit. The strongest gains were seen in Las Vegas, Seattle, and San Francisco. Mortgage bonds once again failed to break above their 25-day moving average over the past 2 days. Now retreating from that, there is a little room to the upside, but significant downside risk before reaching support. So what are the numbers looking at like on the Case Shiller? If you look in Los Angeles, the monthly change up 0.1%, 6.2 year over year. San Diego's down 0.5%, but it's still at 4.8% year over year is the appreciation, still going up. So when you're hearing the news saying that the market is dying or real estate is the cause of problem, and I heard that on the Business Channel this morning, you have to wonder, what are they looking at? Do they realize that, something, we're not quite at a point where we're seeing anything depreciating? We are seeing a slowdown of growth. And I'm going to look right now for you I'll look at Orange County, the report card for Orange County, and we're seeing that the appreciation rate, 59-year average of 6.13 appreciation rate for Orange County. We're still forecasted for next year 4.82. So we might be a little below that 59-year average. And the 5-year history, the last 5 years, Orange County up 7.59%. So is that bad? No, I'm not going to say that's bad at all. Now going to if they are right and we see 4.82 next year, not so bad when you're looking at a 6.13 history. So are we below the historical numbers? Yes. But the idea is, we're still very, very strong on our real estate market for Orange County, California. Let's take a look for our friends in Riverside County as well. How are they faring out in Riverside? Well, 5.57 is their average over the last 59 years. The 10-year average is up 10.79%. And looking forward, 4.69 going into the future. So we're still very, very strong on what we're looking at in the real estate markets. Now, why would I share all of that information with you right here? It's because there's a lot of folks that still are thinking about selling their homes. They haven't come to the idea of, should I sell? Should I not sell? What should I do? And one of the things that we watch on a regular basis is what's happening with home equity lines of credit. Home equity lines of credit seem to be a little bit of an leading indicator of when people are thinking about selling their house. So if they go out and get a home equity line of credit, what are they planning on doing with that money? Well, there's a combination. They're looking at consolidating debt in some instances, or they're looking at doing home improvement. Some of the home improvements are done to keep the home, while other home improvements are done to get rid of the home, getting it ready for resale. So a home equity loan is a method for borrowing money for bigger ticket items. Understanding the facts about these tricky loans is crucial to helping you make the right decision for your finances. If you're considering taking out a home equity loan, here's some things you need to know first. Number one, what is a home equity loan? Home equity loan, or HELOC, is a loan in which a borrower uses the equity of their house as collateral. Loans allow you to borrow a large sum or amount of money based on the value of your home. It's determined by an appraiser and your current equity. So the appraiser comes out, says your home is worth, let's call it $500,000 just for ease of mathematics here. So you've got a $500,000 value. You've got a $300,000 loan. And yes, most Americans now have, the vast majority of Americans have significant income. They've got over 20% income in their house. So now you've got $200,000 in equity on that property, $200,000 in equity. You might say, okay, I can get 90% on that home equity line of credit. So 90% of the home equity line of credit means you can take up to $450,000 less your $300,000, so you can take a $150,000 HELOC, home equity line of credit. Now, we'll talk about more about some of those numbers as we go. You're going to pay closing costs, but it's going to be much less than you'll pay on a typical full mortgage. Fixed rate HELOCs also offer predictability, although they're very, very rare. Generally, you're going to get a home equity line of credit or HELOC where you're paying an adjustable amount of money, adjustable rate, and that rate goes up generally whenever prime rate goes up. Prime rate goes up whenever the Federal Reserve changes their short-term money. Number 2, what are home equity loans based for? That is the next question we want to ask on this issue. Home equity loan is generally best for people who need cash to pay for a single major expense, like a specific home renovation project. Home equity loans are not particularly useful for borrowing small amounts of money. Lenders typically don't want to be bothered with making small loans. $10,000 is about the smallest you can get. At Bank of America, for example, they've got a minimum home equity line of credit of $25,000, while Discover offers home equity loans ranging from $35,000 to $150,000. Third, what is a home equity line of credit? That's the HELOC, is a lender-set revolving credit line based on equity of your home. Once the limit is set, you can draw on your line of credit anytime during the life of the loan by writing a check against it. A HELOC is similar to a credit card. You do not need to borrow the full amount of the loan, and the available credit is replenished as you pay it back. In fact, you could pay back the loan in full during the draw period, reborrow the total amount, and pay it back again. The draw period typically lasts about 10 years, and the repayment period typically lasts 10 to 20 years. You pay interest only on what you actually borrow from the available loan, and you usually don't have to begin repaying the loan until after the draw period closes. The HELOC loans also sometimes come with annual fees. We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We'll also get into other topics today. We're going to be chatting a little bit about how do personal loans impact your credit score. What's the fastest way to boost your credit? Are you spending too much on rent? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly... Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037. Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. NMLS number 2037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Apparently, we had some technical issues during the breaks there. Didn't realize that you were not hearing us during those breaks, so hopefully we've got the issues corrected. I am going to ask some of our technical folk to check that out and see what happens on that on the next break, see what happens there, and see how we do on it. But the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area-trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. You better find it, right? I mean, you're working for it, you're getting out there and hustling, and you want somebody else to find that dream home before you. I don't think that's a good idea. Your family is too important, and especially if you are out there spending too much money on rent. Is that the case? Chances are, if you're renting, you are spending too much money, too much of your income on your monthly housing expense. There is a long-standing rule that a household should not pay more than 28% of their income on their rent or mortgage payment. I would say that is an old statement, and in many instances we're seeing that a lot higher now. This percentage allows the household to save money for the future while comfortably covering other expenses. According to new data released from ApartmentList.com, 49.5 million renters in the United States were cost-burdened in 2017, meaning they spent more than 30% of their monthly income on rent. This accounts for nearly half of all renter households in the country and is up 3.1 million from 2007. When a household is cost burdened by their monthly housing expense, they're not as easily able to save money for the future. This is a big factor for many renters who dream of owning their own homes someday. But there is hope. For those who are able to save at least 3% down payment, the percentage of income needed in the U.S. to buy a home is significantly less than renting at 17.1%. I did share a chart on our social media channels earlier, the historic percentage of income needed to rent and buy from 1985 to 2000 to the first quarter of 2018. As you will see if you look at that chart, the cost of renting has climbed above historic numbers, while the cost of buying dropped over the same time period. Rent versus buy affordability from 1985 to 2000, 25.8% renting. This is the monthly housing cost on the typical U.S. home as a percentage of median income. So median income is different in all areas, right? So your median income and your median housing is different for all parts of the country. So from 1985 to 2000, it was 25.8% use for renting. Now it's 28.4%. From 1985 to 2000, buying was 21.2%. Now it's 17.1%. All that data comes from Zillow. If you are one of the many renters who is spending too much of their money, of their monthly income on rent, consider saving money by getting a roommate, moving into a less expensive apartment, or even moving in with family. These are all ways to save for a down payment so that you can put your housing costs to work for you. Quit spending too much money on that. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area-trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So we've been talking about what you need to know about home equity loans, and we're talking about the home equity line of credit. HELOC also sometimes comes with an annual fee. We're starting to talk about the costs of these different loans and what is that home equity line of credit. Well, it comes with annual fees. Interest rates on the HELOC's repayment period are adjustable, and they're generally tied to the prime rate, although they can often be converted to fixed rate loans after a certain period of time. Also often required to pay closing costs on the loan. Fourth in the list of items here that you need to know. What are home equity lines of credit best for? They're best for people who expect to need varying amounts of cash over time. For example, to start a business, if you don't need to borrow as much as the home equity line, basically that single interest rate, you can opt for a HELOC and borrow only what you need instead. Fifth, what are the benefits of home equity loans and home equity lines of credit? Beyond the access to large sums of money, another advantage of the home equity loan and home equity line of credit is that the interest rate you pay is usually, not always, talk to your tax person, but usually tax deductible. For those who itemize deductions the same as regular mortgage interest. Federal tax law allows you to deduct mortgage interest up to $100,000 in home equity debt. There are certain limitations, though, so be sure to check with that tax advisor to determine your eligibility. Because home equity lines and HELOCs are secured by your home, the interest rates tend to be lower than you'd pay on credit cards or other unsecured loans. Number 6, what are the disadvantages of these lines of credit? The debt you take from the HELOC is secured by your home, meaning your property is collateral and could be at risk if you fail to make the payments on your loan. You can be foreclosed on or lose your home if you're delinquent on a home equity loan. The same is on your primary mortgage. In the case of a foreclosure, the primary mortgage lender is paid off first, and then the home equity lender is paid off out of whatever is left. If your home's value declines, you may go underwater and owe more than the house is worth. The rates for these loans also tend to be somewhat higher than what you'd currently pay for a full mortgage, and closing costs and other fees can add up. Number 7, how do you determine the equity? And I kind of gave you that information in that first segment. Again, I'll share that with you. You just take your current value, whatever the appraiser comes back at, say $500,000. You've got a mortgage for $300,000 on your first mortgage. You've got $200,000 in equity. Do the same idea if your home is worth $250,000 and you owe $200,000. You've got $50,000 in equity. That's 20% equity in your property. The same information is more commonly described in terms of loan to value ratio. That is the remaining balance on your loan compared to the value of the property, in which this case is 80% loan to value. So how do you qualify for that home equity loan? Generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, lenders require you to have at least 80% loan-to-value ratio remaining after the home equity loan in order to be approved. That means you need to have more than 20%. Again, I shared with you that there are many times when you can get a 90 or 95% loan-to-value home equity line of credit. Can I get a home equity loan with bad credit? Many lenders require good to excellent credit ratings to qualify for that home equity loan. A score of 620 or higher is recommended for a home equity loan, and you may need an even higher score to qualify for a home equity line of credit. There are, however, certain situations where home equity loans may still be available to those with bad credit if they have considered equity in their home and a low debt-to-income ratio. If you think you'll be in the market for a home equity line of credit or loan in the near future, make sure you look into getting your credit repaired first. Talk to our friend Jeff Sipes or Alan Hand to talk about how you can do these things. Just give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll get you in touch with the right people to help you with that. How soon can I get a home equity loan? Technically, as soon as you purchase a home. However, some equity builds slowly, which means it can take a while before you have enough equity to qualify for the loan. So yes, some people do even purchase a home with a home equity line of credit. They use a combination loan. It can take 5 to 7 years to begin paying down the principal on your mortgage and start building equity. The normal processing time for a home equity loan can be anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Can I have multiple home equity lines of credit? It's possible, but it is very rare. A few lenders will offer multiple home equity lines of credit. You need to substantially equity and excellent credit to qualify for that. Generally, what you want to do is just have the original company go out and increase that amount if you can. What are the best banks for home equity loans? Well, banks, credit unions, mortgage lenders all offer these different programs. A little research, some shopping around will help you determine which are the best for you. And as I say, call a mortgage banker. And they generally either they can do it for you or they can put you in touch with somebody who can do it for you in a very, very strong fashion. If you're unsure where to start, again, just give me a call. I look at some of these reports and they say go to Lending Tree. Don't ever do that unless you really want to get a new cell phone number. Not that it's a bad company, but all Lending Tree is a bank, basically a data broker. They are not loan brokers. So you're going to put all your data in there. They're going to sell it to the highest bidders. Notice I said bidders, plural. And all of a sudden your phone's going to blow up with people calling you to solicit your business. How do you apply for a home equity loan? Well, certain loans require you must fill out the loan application. Make sure you have that credit score. Know that what it is ahead of time. Determine your credit availability ahead of time. Check your debt. Little research about the institutions. Get the documentation put together. Not that difficult, but it might take you a little bit of time, and you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how do personal loans impact your credit? How does the line of credit, the HELOCs, affect your credit? What's the fastest way to boost your credit? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com. Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990, the Your Credit Matters segment today. Being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. You just need to get on the mailing list, get the information. We send it out on a regular basis. So make sure you just let us know what you need, how we can help. We're always looking to try and help you with that. So just, again, just give us a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. How do personal loans impact your credit score? That is today's Your Credit Matters question. Well, I guess it's going to really depend on what kind of a personal loan you have. If it is just a loan between you and a family member, it's probably not going to have any kind of an impact at all. The data goes on to show that outstanding personal loans had an 11.4% increase in the second quarter, though, when compared to the same period in 2017. This would not be the personal loan you get from Uncle John. Right? I mean, this is going to be the personal loan that you're getting from an institution that actually reports. Not everybody reports, so you can ask that if they do report. I mean, I know of some lenders on first mortgages that don't even report to the bureau. So you have to figure out what it is you're getting and what it is you want. What do you need? There are some people that want to make sure that the information that they're sending out or that is not being reported, right? Again, that's just a big issue that you have to watch out for. So, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here a little bit. The data goes on to show, again, I told you, 11.4% increase in the second quarter when compared to the same period 2017 to an astounding $273 million. This brings the total outstanding personal loans $120 billion. Can you imagine that? $120 billion and counting. Ow! So what is it that is fueling the growth in this industry so much? Is it that people now have better credit? Are there more problems, or is it that there are just way too many lenders willing to overlook all those rigid parameters of which typical banks just won't let go? What is a personal loan? It's a form of an unsecured loan that typically ranges from $1,000 to about $100,000, depending on your needs and the lender you use. Different lenders offer these loans at different rates. Some may give it to you at a fixed rate, while others will offer variable rates. Unsecured means that you are not required to put anything up as collateral, and as such, personal loans tend to be riskier than your typical secured loan or the HELOC or the home equity loans that we talked about earlier in the broadcast, which means that they often come with much higher interest rates and stricter terms of repayment. People often take up personal loans for various short-term reasons, such as making ends meet. In the case of payday loans, be very, very careful with that. Medical bill emergencies, home improvements, credit card bill consolidation, weddings. This is the kind of money you borrow to make large purchases that are not quite at the level of buying a house or a car, but are well above what your paycheck can cover at that very moment. These kinds of loans are often dispersed in very little time, and it can be a matter of hours when dealing with some of the online lenders. Why are personal loans so popular now? Several reasons why personal loans are so popular today. Some of those reasons include the ease of which you can get them. Unlike most other loans, unsecured personal loans are typically easier to apply for and to get. For the most part, all you need is proof of income, citizenship, and some lenders don't even care for your credit score, although many will use it to determine the interest rate that you will pay. The riskier you are to them, the higher your interest rates will be. Online lenders. The growth of digital banking and online lending has made it easier for people who typically be locked out by traditional banks to get access to quick loans. As things stand today, according to the same data from TransUnion, online lenders account for about 36% of all personal loans. And technology, although personal loans are not exactly a new concept, technology has made much more accessible to more people. Today, all you would need to do to get a personal loan is go online and fill out an application. You'll have your money in a matter of days when dealing with banks, in a matter of hours when dealing with some of the online lenders. And accessibility, there is something to be said about people taking up available opportunities. Even if you did not exactly need the money, the fact that some online lender promises you $1,000 within a matter of hours and claim they do not even care about your credit score, of course, almost everyone qualifies, that'll make you seriously consider taking them up on the offer. Most people happen to take personal loans because they are accessible. In the past, you had to walk into a bank. Now you just do it online. So apart from the fact that personal loans can help you put money in your pocket quickly, they can be used for a variety of things, some of which could help make your financial health better. One of the most common uses for personal loans is credit card debt consolidation. Since personal loans typically come at a much lower interest rate than your everyday credit card, you could consolidate all of your credit card debt under the new personal loan and pay the lower interest instead. Say, for example, you have about $20,000 in credit card debt at an interest rate of 16%. Depending on your credit rating and a host of other factors, you can get a personal loan of $25,000 at an interest rate of 8%. Again, we've talked about that, the debt consolidation process. You might put it into your mortgage payment. You might put it into the home equity line of credit payment, or look at the personal loan if you can get it at this 8% that we're talking about. This is all debt management. Very few people will help you with the debt side of your personal balance sheet. They're looking at the asset side. You can find financial advisors a dime a dozen. Not all of them are good, but you can find them. But when you're talking about this other side of the balance sheet, it is a big, big issue. There are several factors that you need to consider when applying for that personal loan and with whichever lender you choose. Again, look at the terms of the loan of repayment, interest rates involved. Look at the reputation of the lender. There are some shady ones out there. Do you want to get involved with a shady lender? I'm not saying which ones are, which ones aren't. I'm just saying do your own homework and make sure you understand what you're getting into before you get into it. And that is the Your Credit Matters segment, again brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. I get this question on a regular basis, so I thought I'd throw this out there for you as well. Do you need good credit to get student loans? Well, the federal student loan, that's the issue. No. If you're looking at the federal student loan, basically a warm body can get the loan, and that's why so many of our young people get into so much trouble with these loans, is because you don't have to have good credit. You can basically fog a mirror, you can get the loan. That is the problem with this whole process, is that you end up getting the loan, and then you have to figure out, okay, now what do I do with it? How do I repay it? That's where the issue come in. A loan applicant's credit score does not affect access to the Stafford or the Perkins loans. For a Federal Plus loan taken out by parents of undergraduate students and graduate or professional students, an applicant's credit score isn't taken into account, but he or she cannot have an adverse credit history like the 90-day delinquency or bankruptcy, according to finaid.org. That's one of the servicers there. Chris Bissonette will be coming back in. I think he's in either in November or December. He does a great job dealing with the federal student aid programs. So we're going to be chatting with Chris about that. And you'll want to make sure to watch our social media channels to find out exactly when Chris is coming in, and the other thing we ask you to do. Set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.